Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today. We're tackling a challenge that is incredibly frustrating for so many ambitious professionals out there, and that's the localized professional ceiling. Just imagine this for a second. You've got a decade of amazing industry experience, you're leading a team, you've definitely got the skills. But then you look to cross borders, maybe for a life-changing job overseas, an immigration application to Canada, or even just pursuing higher education, and suddenly, bam, your credentials hit a massive wall. You're basically told that despite all your hard work, your degree just doesn't meet the local standard. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive right into the exact mechanisms using some really fascinating source material to show you how to turn that localized ceiling into a truly global passport. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the Global Credential Challenge, then look at the Architecture of Trust, followed by the WAGs and ECTS Advantage. After that, we'll cover the 12-month master's pathway, the 24-month accelerated DBA, and finally, unlocking your global future. Let's jump right in. Section 1, the Global Credential Challenge, and exactly why degrees seem to hit a wall. I really want you to think about this question for a moment. Why do so many professional degrees completely fail at the global border? Honestly, it's definitely not a lack of talent or knowledge on your end. It's what we call an invisible credential wall. You see, a standard degree alone, especially if it's issued outside of North America or Europe, often just isn't enough to pass through these global filters. And there's a very practical reason for all this intense scrutiny. Educational standards just vary wildly across the globe. Some countries have super rigorous oversight, while others might lack a centralized verification system entirely. So because an international employer or an immigration officer simply can't independently verify the academic rigor of thousands of random global universities, they just default to rejecting or undervaluing the qualification. It either requires a ton of extra evidence, faces extreme scrutiny, or is just outright dismissed. And this creates a stark contrast. It's literally a night and day difference between a blocked career path and wide open doors. Look at the left side here. Without a globally evaluated and recognized credential, professionals run straight into immigration rejection. They get hit with significantly lower comprehensive ranking system, or CRS, scores for things like Canadian Express entry, and they hit a very real, very frustrating salary ceiling. But then look at the alternative on the right. By applying the DGBS and EU Global Framework, we see a totally different outcome. Immigration applications are approved, candidates secure maximum CRS points for a foreign master's degree, and there's instant, undeniable trust from multinational HR teams. This credential gap is literally impacting your earning potential and your freedom to move around the world. Moving on to Section 2, the Architecture of Trust, where we'll decode all these acronyms. Okay, so it turns out there's actually a really clear, highly technical architecture to building this global trust. Let's unpack this alphabet soup, because understanding these acronyms is the absolute secret to unlocking that credential wall. First up, we have the MFHEA, which stands for the Malta Further and Higher Education Authority. They're the regulatory body in Malta, making sure there is strict quality control right at the source. Then you've got the MQF and EQF, or the Malta and European Qualifications Frameworks. These frameworks act like a translator, mapping those local qualifications directly to a universally understood standard, specifically European levels 7 and 8. Next is ECTS, the European Credit Transfer and Accumulation System. This one is crucial because it actually quantifies the sheer volume of your workload, making it totally transparent to an outsider. And finally, the ENIC-NARIC network. This is a massive web of national information centers that validates these degrees across more than 55 nations. Every single one of these bodies adds a vital layer of undeniable credibility. It's like a giant puzzle, and every piece matters. When looking at the source material, what really stands out is how the strategic partnership between DGBS and EU Global leverages this exact architecture we just talked about. It links official Maltese government accreditation directly to full European Union Level 7 standards. It's a high-impact synergy, and it's genuinely designed for professionals who are seeking total, undisputed global relevance in their careers. And this creates a continuous, honestly fascinating chain of credibility. It starts at step 1 with the MFHEA officially issuing the institutional license. Then, in step 2, the MQF and EQF step in to align that degree so it's fully portable and understood anywhere in Europe. And crucially, at step 3, World Education Services, you probably know them as WES, takes that European data and converts it directly into a North American equivalency. It is an end-to-end pathway of trust, crossing continents seamlessly. Section 3, the WES and ECTS Advantage. This is all about forging that heavyweight key. Now, this is an incredibly common doubt, and we definitely need to address it head-on. People always ask, is a Maltese degree actually recognized locally in places like Nigeria or abroad? The answer is a resounding yes. Malta is a full European Union member state. Because of that, its educational framework is legally linked directly to the overarching European Qualifications Framework. Through the ENIC-NARIC network we mentioned earlier, it's recognized across more than 56 countries globally. Plus, WES confirms it as a verified North American master's equivalent. So we're not just talking about a localized degree here, it's a globally verified passport. But here's the crucial differentiator, the 90 ECTS workload. This is where things get really interesting. You see, most standard online MBA programs offer around 60 credits. That's essentially the bare minimum you need to cross the graduation stage. But 90 ECTS, that represents a significantly heavier, far more rigorous academic weight. That extra 30 credits fundamentally changes how you're evaluated. It gives you 100% certainty for a WES full master's rating. It acts as a direct, unquestionable gateway for PhD and DBA entry. It ensures unambiguous ENIC-NARIC European recognition. Professional licensing boards like the CPA or ACCA accept it without a shadow of a doubt. And honestly, it sends a massive signal of academic confidence to literally any global employer reviewing your resume. And for those of you who are all too familiar with the absolute nightmare of international transcript transmission, the ETX-NG system mentioned in the framework is a total game changer. It completely eliminates the traditional, incredibly slow paper trail of doubt. Here's how it works. A graduate submits their application. Then, primary source verification is instantly conducted against established national standards, like the NUC in Nigeria. Finally, a tamper-proof, digitally signed transcript is sent securely to evaluating bodies like WES. So what historically used to take agonizing weeks of anxiety just waiting for the mail to arrive now takes mere hours. No way, right? It's that fast. Section 4. The 12-month master's pathway. Time to open door number 1.
So a key data point that really stood out in the source material is this timeline right here. 12 months. That is the highly accelerated, intensely focused timeframe needed to complete any of the master's specializations in this program. We are talking about exactly 1 year of dedicated effort to completely transform your global credential standing.
Within that focused 12-month duration, professionals can choose from 11 distinct MBA specializations. These range from strategic digital marketing to healthcare management, or even an MS in data science and AI. All of these options are officially designated at MQF/EQF Level 7. All of them deliver that massive heavyweight 90 ECTS value we talked about. And the whole shebang is delivered entirely online through a self-paced eCampus. This format is incredible because you can access recorded lectures, asynchronous modules, and digital libraries exactly when your schedule allows. It perfectly blends rigorous academic excellence with the very real, unpredictable, flexible needs of working executives like us. But learning here isn't just sitting passively behind a screen watching lectures. The Capstone project goes way beyond mere theory. You're actually grouped into specialized teams and paired directly with a project supervisor to tackle comprehensive business cases. You are actively solving high-level corporate strategy challenges. You're making a real-world impact before you even cross the virtual graduation stage.
Which brings us to Section 5, the 24-month accelerated DBA, unlocking the ultimate door.
Okay, let's dive into the next incredible number from the curriculum framework, 24. This is a 24-month accelerated timeline. That's all it takes to rapidly propel a professional to the absolute pinnacle of business education through the Doctor of Business Administration program. Just a focused, intensive 24 months to reach the very top of the academic ladder. This 24-month accelerated DBA operates at MQF/EQF Level 8. Now, for those unfamiliar with the framework tiers, Level 8 represents the absolute highest possible academic tier in the European framework. It carries an unbelievable 180 ECTS credits. And here is a totally fascinating piece of structural design. Because you're coming into this with that heavyweight 90-credit master's we just discussed, you are seamlessly accepted directly into this DBA program. There's no bridging year required. Completing this rigorous journey earns you the official, globally recognized right to use the doctor title. And through personalized one-on-one supervisor support, you're conducting independent doctoral-level research. You aren't just reading textbooks and memorizing old case studies. You are investigating critical, immediate challenges within your specific industry. You're turning that research into published doctoral-level innovation that delivers tangible business impact on a global scale.
Finally, Section 6, Unlocking Your Global Future and the Dual Pillar Takeaway.
So, this entire ecosystem we've explored today rests securely on two major pillars of success. First is WES recognition, which basically acts as your gold standard passport. This is what yields maximum Canadian CRS points, unlocks critical USA visa pathways, and effortlessly clears professional board hurdles. Then, the second pillar is the undeniable European credit weight. That's the 90 ECTS for your 12-month master's and the 180 ECTS for your 24-month DBA. This sheer academic volume grants automatic PhD access and satisfies those incredibly stringent EU Blue Card criteria. Together, they combine perfectly to give you absolutely unlimited global access. After looking at the deep architecture of trust, the undeniable importance of credit weight, these incredibly rapid 12 and 24-month program timelines, and the sheer power of global evaluation, you now hold the keys to the global credential passport. The only question left is, are you ready to cross the border and finally shatter your professional ceiling? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.